Good day, Coach Jude, and good day to my dear classmate. I am Angeles Cristal Antonielli, the little teacher of Study Hub number 2. So in this presentation, we are going to explain the topic number 4, which is the learner-centered pedagogy. So upon watching this video presentation, you are expected to, first, discuss the nature of learner-centered teaching modalities, structures, methods, and strategies that facilitate differentiate teaching to suit learners' genders, needs, strengths, interests, and experiences. Second is to select appropriate learner-centered teaching modalities, structures, methods, and strategies based on learners' diverse needs, learning styles, and backgrounds. And lastly is to draw an appropriate learner-centered teaching modalities and strategies that address the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances. So, learner-centered pedagogy means putting the students at the center of the learning process. So, instead of the teacher doing all the talking and the student just listening, and in learner-centered teaching, students are more active. So, they participate, ask questions, and explore during this learning process. And the teachers are there to guide and support. So, instead of just lecturing, they help students discover and understand on their own. So, lessons are based on students' needs, interests, and abilities. So, in learner-centered pedagogy, it focuses on helping students develop their skills like critical thinking, problem solving, and collaboration. Delivery modalities. So, delivery modalities refer to the different ways or methods that education or instruction is delivered to learners. So, it's about how the teacher delivers the lessons and how the students receive them. In simple terms, it answers the questions, how will the learning takes place? So there are different types of delivery modalities because not all students learn the same way and not all situations allow for the same kind of teaching. So some students learn better in classroom while others prefer learning online or through modules at home. So delivery modalities include face-to-face classes, blended, online, or e-learning, and distance learning as discussed earlier. So first we have the face-to-face learning. So face-to-face learning is a traditional classroom instruction, remains foundational in education. So it emphasizes direct interaction between the teachers and the students. So, an example of face-to-face learning is the classroom lectures and the group discussion. So, what is classroom lectures? So, in classroom lectures, a teacher stands in front of the class explaining a topic while the students listens, take notes, and answer questions or to ask questions. And the second example is the group discussion. So in the group discussion, students are gathered in the small group where they discuss a topic or they solve a problem together. So those are the example of the face-to-face classes or face-to-face learning. Second, we have the blended learning. So blended learning combines online digital media with traditional face-to-face classroom methods, offering a hybrid approach to education. So an example of blended learning is a high school student attends math class at school 3 times a week but does extra practice and watches lesson videos online at home using Google Classroom. Third, we have the technology-based online or e-learning. So, technology-based online or e-learning utilizes internet-based platform to deliver educational content, facilitating remote learning experiences. So, an example of e-learning is a college student takes a fully online course where all lessons, quizzes, discussions happen on Zoom and a learning platform like Moodle or Canvas. So that is an example of e-learning. So next and last type is the distance learning. So distance learning encompasses various educational practices where students and instructors are geographically separated. So they rely on technology for communication and instruction. So an example of distance learning is a student in a remote area receives a printed learning modules from school every week and completes them at home and submits them to a mobile teacher or a drop-off center where no internet are needed. So that's all for my topic. I hope you have learned and understand something from me. Thank you for watching.
Today everyone, I'm Carla Sarah. So today I'm going to assign the structures of participating learning centered teaching. So first we have a formal, traditional. Here the definition of this. This is the structures of curriculum-based education system we count school. For example, the kindergartens, elementary, high school, and college or university education. So here the characteristic of this is the follow and fix the uh, curriculum and academic calendar. Uh, Second is conducted in classroom with the certified teacher. Third, learners are usually grouped by age or age grade level. Fourth, leads to professional diplomas or degree. And here the learner-centered approach in formal education. First is the encouraging active participation using varied teaching strategies, group work, project-based, and learning. Third is adjust methods to fix students, a learner-centered style. So number two is the alternative learner system, which is the ALS. So ALS is the parallel learning system in Philippines that provides practical option for people who can access formal education. So first is non-formal education, which is the NFE. Uh, this is the organized learning outside the formal system. So example of this is the community-based program, literacy classes, livelihood training. So a learner is uh, out of out of schools, youth, adult, or working individuals. So the goal of this is to equip learners with the foundational literacy, lifestyle, life skills, and sometimes help them to re-enter the formal system. So here the formal education, which is the in Ed. So this is the definition of this. This is the learner that occurs nationally and daily without structured programs. So example of this learner at home from media or life experience. So the importance of this help learners acquire values, social skills, and practical knowledge. So the mobile teacher is the who they are, trained education who got to communicate, especially remote or understand areas, why they do what they do, bring learners materials and conduct sessions in barangays or homes. The cater of learners who cannot attend the schools attend school due to distance work and personal construct, con, constructs. So this is the tailor of lesson to center needs. Thanks.
Good day everyone, my name is Justin S. Guzman and I'm from Sariang number 2. So my topic is all about alternative delivery mode. So before I will discuss my topics, let's have a little recap about Miss Kayla's topic. So Miss Kayla's topic is all about structure for facilitating learner-centered teaching, include formal and alternative learning. So when we said formal, it is a traditional. It is a traditional structure, classroom-based education following a set curriculum. And also when we said alternative learning system, it is an ALS for short, a non-formal education system offer flexible learning option for out-of-school youth and adult. So non-formal education or NFE, it is an organized learning outside the formal system. Informal education. Informal education or InFed, it is a everyday learning through experience and environment. So mobile teacher. So mobile teacher, it is an ALS, teaching who brings education direct to learning in remote or under-reserved area. So now let's discuss about my topic. So now let's discuss my topic. My topic is alternative delivery mode or ADM. Under the modified in school of school approach, Mimoso provides flexible learning option combining in school and off-school methods. Key program include e-impact involving parents, teacher, and the community, and the Open High School program or OHSP. So these approaches use active learning strategies such as cooperative learning, inquiry-based activities, experiment, role-plays, learning creative media, and games. They are encourage student engagement through collaboration, critical thinking, real-life simulation, and problem-solving, making learning more meaningful and interactive. Good day everyone, my name is Justin S. Guzman and I am from Sariang number 2. So today I will discuss you about the teacher roles and the learner roles. But before I will start, so let's have a little recap about Miss Kyla's topic. So Miss Kyla's topic is all about the classroom routines and producer, and also the social environment, fairness, respect, and care and encourage learner, and also creating motivating learning environment. So when we said classroom routine and produce, it is the structural routine when it's clear student involved produce for a daily task and transition, maximize learning time and foster independence. So and also when we said the social environment, it is what we call positive social climate, respect, it is fairness, and also care and exclusive, create a safe, supportive community where students feel valued and empowered. So, and the last is creating motivating learning environment. So it is the engaging learning, motivating activities, relevant content, student choice, and collaborative opportunities keep student active, involved, and invested in their learning. So now, let's proceed to my topic, which is teacher roles. So when we said teacher roles, it is facilitator guide. So instead of lecturing on hypothesis, the teacher set up a hands-on experiment where students explore the process themselves, question and prompt. and also encourage and advocate. So a teacher notices a student struggling with a concept and provides extra support, offering tailored explanation and resources, and advocating for additional tutoring if needed. So resources provider. The teacher provide access to online simulation, videos, and interactive exercise to supplement the textbook, catering to the different learning style. And the lastly is the collaborator. The teacher works with students to design a project based on their interests, incorporating their input into the learning objective and assessment criteria. And there's lots more. So evaluator. Instead of a single final exam, the teacher uses a variety of assessment method including quizzes, presentation, project, and classroom participation to guide understanding through the learning process. The last is the roles of learner. So active participant. During a class discussion, student active participate by asking clarification question, sharing their insight, and engaging with the ideas of their peers. So when you said self-directed learn, so it is a student identified areas where they need to improve, set a goals to improve their writing skills, and seek out online resources and tutoring to help them achieve their goals. So, and also we have collaborator. Student work in groups on a research project, sharing responsibilities, providing peer feedback, and supporting each other learning. So, critical thinking. So, critical thinking, it is an analyzing information presented in a text, evaluates the evidence presented, and form their own information, opinion, consider different perspective. So, the effective communicator. So, effective communicator, it is a clear articulates their understanding for a complex concept during a presentation using visual and example to enhance their explanation.
So, good day to each and everyone. So, my name is Venice Marie Kidal Santos from Study Hub number 2. So, before we proceed to our my discussion, let's have a short recap about what Mr. Guzman talked about. So, he talked about alternative or delivery modes or ADM and modified in school approach or MIMOSA. So alternate delivery modes or ADM refers to different methods of delivering education or training outside of the traditional face-to-face classroom setting. So this modes aims to provide flexible learning opportunities to the wide range of learners. So common types include online learning, blended learning, and modular learning. So how about a modified in school approach? So is an educational delivery strategy designed to improve flexible learning opportunities by combining both in school and off school learning experience. So especially useful in contexts where students face barriers to attend school full time, such as during emergency, health crisis, or remote areas. So, for example, no, in San Antonio Elementary School, for example, no, in one section we have it divided into two, so which is group 1, group A, and group B. So the first group will be face to face, and the second group, which is B, is modular. So it will be that way to to help each other to have a full time of learning experience in off school and out school. Let's proceed to my discussion, which is under the learner-centered pedagogy. I'm going to discuss about flexible learning and teaching, differentiate teaching, education and emergency. We have under educational emergency, we have foundational standard, and the teaching and learning domain. So under the teaching and learning domain, we have four: the curricula, training, professional development and support, instruction and learning process, and lastly we have the assessment and learning outcomes. So now first, let's define what is flexible learning and teaching. So flexible learning and teaching refers to educational approach that provides students with choices regarding how, when, and where they learn. So this model aims to accommodate diverse learning reference and life circumstances, so enhancing accessibility and engagement. So now let's explain the two, which is flexible learning and the flexible teaching. So flexible learning, it is focused on offering students options about pace of learning, like for example in demand content, flexible timeless choice of assessment date. So the location of learning, we have the classroom, home, and online. So and the mode of delivery. So what do you mean the mode of the delivery? Like for example, blended learning, fully online course, or technology enhanced experience. So this approach can allow students to customize their educational experiences, balancing studies with personal and professional commitments. And then let's define what is flexible. So flexible teaching. So flexible teaching involves designing and implementing instructional strategies that support students' autonomy and responsibility for their learning. So this includes employing various teaching methods and technology to cater to different learning styles and needs of a learner, of the students. So it is fostering and more personalized than effective learning environment. So we have its benefits. So first, we have accessibility, convenience, and personalization. So accessibility, we have the students can access learning materials from any location, reducing barriers related or for commuting or relocation. So we have then convenience. So why do we have convenience as benefits? This because the ability to choose when and where to study allows students to better balance their educational pursuit with other life responsibility. So next we have personalization. So personalization is tailoring the learning experience to individual preference and needs, can enhance engagement and motivation. So as an educator, we have to motivate students, motivates in tailoring their learning experience. In differentiate teaching, educators recognize the students that have different backgrounds, level of readiness, interest, and teaching preference. So as a result, the learner, teaching strategies, content, process, and assessments are modified to suit these differences. So we have the main principles of differentiate teaching. We have include content, process, product, and learning environment. So this is the four main principles of differentiate teaching. We'll proceed to the education in emergencies. So in emergencies, access to education is often stripped, leaving children and young youth with stable instructionalized structured learning environment. So education in emergency seek to address this gap by providing temporary learning spaces, adapting curricula to meet the immediate needs, and using flexible teaching methods to ensure continuity in education. So EIE, so stand for education in emergencies. So programs often focus on creating safe space where students can learn while also addressing their emotional and psychosocial needs. So now let's proceed to the two, which is the foundational standard. So in here, the foundation standard, so in education, for example, so foundation standard helps set up basic expectation for how teaching should be done. So these standards make sure that all students, no matter where they are or what they need, they can get good education. So they guide teachers on how to teach and make sure the learning environment is safe and supported for the teaching for the students or the learners. So in an emergency, so like a natural disasters or conflicts, so foundation standard help ensure that education continues and it is adapted to the needs of the children so affected by this crisis. So the goal is to provide the best possible learning experience and despite these challenges or this different disasters. So now let's proceed to the teaching and learning domain. So what do you mean by this? So in learner-centered pedagogy, it focuses on creating an environment where students actively engage in their learning. So in this approach, the teacher roles shift from being the primary source of knowledge to being a facilitator who support students as they take the responsibility for their own learning. So we have here the in learner-centered pedagogy, the teaching and the learning domain involves active participation, personalized learning and also collaboration. So we have active participation. So why do we need students to have actively participate? So students engage in discussion and problem solving and enhance activity. So we need to have interaction with the students to have them to actively participate to our discussion. So in personalized learning, lessons are tailored to meet the needs, interests, and abilities of each student. So as a teacher, we need to have lessons that is interesting and it can tailor the needs of our students. So in here we have lastly collaboration. So collaboration, students work together to solve problems and share ideas. So for example here, we need to we have a class or a lesson that can be you have to group them into this group by group. You need to brainstorm to share to the class what have you learned for this semester or this lesson. So that is how a teacher can student can actively participate, learn from their personalized learning, and lastly is collaboration to each other. So as I said earlier, we have four and the teaching and the learning domain. So first, let's discuss about the curricula. So the curriculum, or in the learner-centered pedagogy, the curriculum is not rigid. So one size fits all plans instead it is designed to support and enhance students' active involvement in their own learning. The teacher acts as a facilitator, guiding students through the content, but allowing for flexibility and personalization. So in how the material is explored. So the curriculum in the context is student-centered, active in engagement, collaborative, collaborative, flexible, and promotes critical thinking and problem solving. So now let's proceed to the second, which is training, professional development, and support. So now let's proceed to training, professional development, and support. So in training, it helps people learn specific skills involving in their current job. So like for example, in teaching, we need to assert or lesson in assert to help students in catering their needs. Then second, we have professional development. So it is a broader way to keep learning and growing in career over time. It can include things like workshop, courses, and mentorship. So as a BTLED HE student, we have this training or professional development as a teacher and as a source of knowledge in different kinds of skills like cooking. Specializes our major is cooking, which is home economics. We have different trainings like NC2s to have personal development or professional development. And lastly, we have support. So as an educator or as a student in training, we need support from different like parents, students, mentors, and also friends. So now let's proceed to third, which is the instruction and the learning process. So in instruction, so the teacher methods and strategies used by educators to present content and help students understand the material. So as you know, instruction to have this is the teaching methods of each teacher or each teacher to educate their students to understand the materials. Yes, the materials. So now let's proceed the learning process. So the steps students take to absorb, practice, and apply knowledge, which involves activities like listening, problem solving, and critical thinking. So in learning process, we have different kinds. We have to listen, or we have different kinds of students, which is active recipients of information. We have to many students have different learning methods like visual and auditory. Which is involved. So in learning process, it involves the absorption of knowledge. Like for me as a BTLED student, we need to absorb this knowledge, to absorb and practice so that we can apply it, or we can teach it, we can share it to the class one day by applying critical thinking and problem solving. And also, this process ensures that both teaching and learning work together to help students achieve their educational goals. So lastly, under the teaching and learning domain. So lastly, we have the assessment of teaching outcomes. So this involves using various tools such as textbooks, text, projects, or presentations to check whether students have met the specific learning objectives. So it helps to determine if the students have successfully acquired the knowledge or the intended knowledge and skills from you. And that the result of this assessment can guide future teaching practice. So providing feedbacks to students and inform decisions and educational programs. So for the overall conclusion for this topic, which is the learner-centered pedagogy, is the learner-centered pedagogy shift the focus of education from the teachers to the students, emphasize active participation, critical thinking, and personalized learning. So it's encourage students to take responsibility for their own learning, promote deeper understanding, promoting deeper understanding, collaboration, and the development of lifelong learning skills. So, by recognizing individual differences in learning styles and needs, this approach fosters a more inclusive, engaging, and empowering educational environment that prepares students to real-world problem solving and continues to grow. Thank you very much for listening. So this is Venice Maria Santos from Study Hub number 2, signing off as we discuss our next topic for the next video. Thank you very much.